Welcome back to Building Better Relationships in Construction. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sabrina. Today we're on Chapter 39, Responding Effectively When Customers Are Upset.
In construction and in every service business, there will be moments when clients are upset, sometimes very upset. Miscommunications, delays, perceived defects, they all stir up emotion.
The real question isn't, how do I avoid upset clients forever? It's, what do I do when they're upset? Because how you respond in those moments can either build trust or break it.
We're going to walk through a 5-step process. 1. Disarm. 2. Show empathy. 3. Ask questions. 4. Explain your perspective. 5. Collaborate toward resolution.
In previous episodes, we covered the first 3. Disarm by finding some truth, empathize by rephrasing, and ask clarifying questions.
Once the client feels heard and understood, you're ready for the next 2 steps. Explain your perspective clearly and calmly, then work together toward a resolution.
Step 4. Explain clearly and calmly.
Step 4 is where you share your side of the story. But how you share it matters a lot.
The goal is not to win an argument. It's to calmly explain what happened in factual, neutral language.
Think of it as pulling back the curtain on your process, helping them understand the decisions and constraints that led to where you are now.
What you want to avoid? Excuses, blame, emotional tone.
Let's go back to that familiar example. The client is upset about the width of the mortar joints on a stem wall.
You've already disarmed. Yes, these joints are wider than typical. Shown empathy. It looks inconsistent to you, and that's frustrating. Asked questions. Is this the main area that's bothering you?
Now you explain. It might sound like this. I'd like to take a moment to explain what happened. Our brick mason used full bricks to build the wall, which is a common judgment call based on appearance and efficiency. If we tried to use smaller mortar joints by cutting each brick, it would have made the wall look busier and might not have achieved the aesthetic they were aiming for. The mason chose to use full bricks because they believed it was the best look and made practical sense under the circumstances. The joint width is slightly wider than usual, but it's within what's acceptable, given the materials and the style we aimed for.
Notice what that explanation does. It describes the process clearly and specifically. It doesn't attack the client or dismiss their concern. It doesn't throw the mason under the bus. It stays calm and neutral in tone.
And notice what it avoids. There's nothing wrong. You're overreacting. This is just how it is. They messed up. It's their fault.
You're giving them information, not a lecture. You're inviting them to understand the reasoning, not telling them their feelings are invalid. Step 5. Collaborate toward resolution.
Step 5 is where you move from explanation to action, working with the client toward a reasonable outcome.
This is where many people fail. They explain their side, then stop. But if you stop there, the client may still feel stuck.
Instead, you show you're still committed to their satisfaction. For example, you might say,
Given what I've shared, the joint width falls within the acceptable range based on our standards. However, I want to make sure you're comfortable with the overall appearance. If it's still bothering you, we can review the finish to see if there's a way to refine the look, or I can bring in an expert, like another mason or an inspector, to provide a second opinion.
That does 3 big things. Reaffirms that the work meets standards, signals that their experience still matters to you, offers options and invites them into the solution.
You're basically saying, I'm not just here to defend the work. I'm here to work with you until we reach a fair, reasonable outcome.
And resolution doesn't always mean, we'll tear it all out and start over. It might mean clarifying expectations, making a targeted cosmetic improvement, getting a third-party opinion to give everyone confidence.
Even if the final answer is, we're not rebuilding this, the way you got there, calmly, respectfully, and collaboratively, can still preserve the relationship. Why this structured approach works.
So why is this 5-step method so powerful?
Because it replaces instinctive defensiveness with professional leadership.
Most clients expect one of 2 things when they complain: instant defensiveness and stonewalling, or frantic overpromising just to shut the situation down.
When you disarm with some truth, show empathy, ask questions, explain calmly, collaborate on resolution, you're modeling something very different. confidence without arrogance, transparency without blame, commitment without panic.
That earns respect, even from clients who started the conversation angry. It also deposits trust into the relationship bank account. The client walks away thinking, they didn't hide, they didn't attack, they listened, explained, and worked with me.
Turning tough situations into long-term trust.
Upset customers are not just headaches to get rid of. They're tests and chances to show who you really are under pressure.
Every time you walk through these 5 steps, you reinforce your credibility, show your commitment to fairness and quality. Turn a potential blow-up into a loyalty-building moment.
Over time, that becomes part of your story in the market. You might hit bumps with any builder, but these folks handle issues with honesty and professionalism.
That reputation brings repeat business, strong referrals, less fear and more cooperation when something does go wrong.
So next time a client is upset, run the 5 steps in your mind. 1. Disarm, find and acknowledge something true. 2. Empathize, rephrase to show you understand. 3. Ask, clarify what really matters to them. 4. Explain, calmly, factually share your perspective. 5. Resolve, work together on a reasonable next step.
That's Chapter 39 of Building Better Relationships in Construction, responding effectively when customers are upset.
Share this episode with your project managers, superintendents, and anyone who ends up in tough client conversations. And remember, this podcast is based on the principles and practices found in the book, Building Better Relationships by Paul Schwinghammer. Available in multiple formats, including audiobook, on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Alex. Remember, it's not the absence of problems that builds your reputation, it's how you respond when clients are upset that makes you truly trustworthy.